Hello and welcome to my reflection video. I'm Jodie Lazarski, Educational Technology Graduate Studies student from North Caldwell, New Jersey, and I'm very excited to be near the completion of my EdTech journey, and I'd like to talk a little bit about what I've learned that has impacted me and how I have arrived here. I graduated Montclair State University with a degree not in education, but in communications, concentrating in broadcasting and minoring in journalism. I received Montclair State University's first Gracie Allen Award from the American Women in Radio and Television for a documentary I co-produced along with these two guys called Out of the Broom Closet. And I quickly worked my way through 3 internships to land my first job in the business at MSNBC. At MSNBC, I worked for MSNBC Investigates, Crime Files, and Special Edition with Lori Dew, doing a lot of fact-checking, logging tapes, and calling graphics on the screen. Shortly thereafter, I became a control room production assistant and a second AD at The Maury Show, which was an adventure.
Our control room right now, she's our control room production assistant. Jodie, don't do that to me. I know she has no idea what's going on right now, okay? Because here's what's happening. Jodie's boyfriend, Matt, is leaving for Iraq tomorrow. And she's gonna fly to his base in California to say goodbye before he goes overseas. And what's really special about the story is that a person from our staff volunteered to pay for her flight. Another person's paying for her hotel. So we wanted to help Jodie feel special for her trip and give her a surprise.
One evening in 1996, 18-year-old Heidi was hanging out at home when she heard a knock at the door.
Police, open!
As you can see from the look on my face, working for Maury was fun, but it wasn't easy. I left Maury to take a position as an associate director at a new show called IMAX with sports commentator Max Kellerman. Being Max's AD meant that I was moving from the control room's back row to the front row, taking on more responsibility, and at IMAX, I was even given the opportunity to direct my first show. After Max's show, I started freelancing, becoming a Devil stage manager, as well as a fill-in AD for College Sports Television Network. I also then moved on to AD over at Headbangers Ball on a freelance basis. I was able to land a job at Court TV, first as an assignment desk coordinator, but later I got staffed there as an associate director when they became True TV. I still continued to AD over at Fuse, and I also worked one day at 30-minute meals for Rachel Ray as a freelance AD. I worked sporadically for fill-ins for TRL at the time on MTV. I often did MTV News as an AD there, and I had a great time ultimately working for Turner, doing the PGA Tour, and worked for the Islanders as a freelance Islanders stage manager for the away teams. I worked at ABC as an intern early on, and really had a wonderful experience in all of these roles. So I bet you're wondering how and why did I become a teacher? Well, I really didn't plan on teaching at all. While freelancing, I took a position as an adjunct professor at Seton Hall University, teaching a TV production studio course there at night. I discovered I really loved teaching, what I love to do. So I decided to pursue the alternate route licensure steps while still working as a freelancer in TV. When True TV laid off the New York offices, I then pursued the position that I saw listed for a TV production teacher in Plainfield. I got that job, and while I worked as the teacher of TV production there, I pursued my alternate route certification for audio-visual broadcast production technology. In 2008, I came to Westwood and formed the digital media program here. I was looking for a master's program to enhance my skill of lesson design and technology. The program at EdTech at Boise State University did that and more. It gave me the ability to emerge as a leader and as a resource for my other teachers. It gave me the ability to design and put more purposeful lessons and learning experiences together for my students while incorporating the programs and skills needed for a 21st century learner. Now that I'm near the completion of the program and can reflect upon my experiences, I'd like to focus on 3 key experiences for me. First is technology infrastructure, second, technology integration, and third, media creation. Let's begin with technology infrastructure. In the very first course of the program, EdTech 501, Introduction to Educational Technology, I learned that educational technology can enhance our school environments. As defined by Janiszewski and Melinda, educational technology is the study of ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes and resources. After learning what educational technology actually is, we next applied it in the following assignments: digital inequality, digital divide, technology use overview, technology use plan, and school summary evaluation. These projects helped me to stop and recognize how vital the role of an educational technologist actually are in the big picture of the district's success. As a teacher in a school that has 3 people in their IT department, I thought it was essential that I learned about my own school environment and how viable our technology infrastructure is. In the school evaluation summary and technology use planning overview projects, I was able to take a closer look at my own school and analyze the various benchmarks and goals as it applied to the goals of the ACTE and National Educational Technology Plan. Next, we were introduced to the AECT standards, as well as the National Education Technology Plan and Horizon Report, 3 vital documents to technology use planning. In my own technology use plan project, I was able to see how goals must be aligned to the National Education Technology Plan, as well as benchmarks of the district goals, and they should also be aligned to the classroom curriculum in order to be effective. Only after completing these projects, I realized there could be a need for an integration technologist at my school, and I decided to pursue that particular certification in addition to my MET degree. In the course 502, The Internet for Educators, I learned so much more about technology infrastructure as I learned how to create websites and projects using HTML and CSS. This was my first experience with coding, and though I found it to be rather difficult, I am really proud of the assignments I completed because they're both useful to my course curriculum and I use them every day in my class. Next, let's discuss technology integration. In the course 541, Integrating Technology into Classroom Curriculum, I built a website that specifically taught Spanish using technology, and I don't even speak Spanish. One assignment we did in this class, which also helped me learn so much about not only the integration of technology, but also the infrastructure, was the virtual field trip assignment. By taking a tour of how our IT department runs, I was able to understand star topology and our hubs, layers of switches that run throughout our buildings in order to filter technology from various locations to the high school. I was able to discuss the goals with our IT department as well as our Wi-Fi installation so that teachers can use laptop carts and personal devices. In this class, we designed a number of projects incorporating technology and really created learning environments for our students to excel. These projects meet standard 3 of learning environments where candidates managed mechanisms for maintaining the technology infrastructure to improve learning and performance. Another example of a great learning experience I had with technology integration was the creation of the project-based learning assignment in the course 542, Project-Based Learning. The project-based learning assignment was systematically designed using the ADDIE framework, which I learned in Instructional Design's 504 class. ADDIE, which stands for Analyze, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate, is evident in my Westwood Investigates project-based learning assignment and also meets the AECT standard for content knowledge, strand number 1, which states that candidates must demonstrate the ability to create instructional materials and learning environments using a variety of systems approaches. Lastly, creating with technology. The experiences I've had in the course Multimedia, Social Networking for Learners, and YouTube for Educators has greatly helped me improve the way I ask my students to engage in their creation of media using technology in my course, Digital Media. Since taking the multimedia class, I was able to apply the coherence principle to a number of my projects, including the worked examples screencast, which I used to create an introduction for my own students to the program we primarily use in class, Final Cut Express, as well as the digital story. Additionally, I was able to meet Standard 5 of the AECT standards for method, which states that candidates should apply research methodologies to solve problems and enhance practice. In the project number 1 of multimedia, I used Google Slides to showcase a project, and it demonstrated contiguity principles of media by focusing on dual channels, showing visuals that complement the audio in the form of speaker notes, and I utilized the limited capacity principle by only showing what needed to be displayed in a small amount of information. The YouTube for Educators class also helped me establish my own personal YouTube channel, which I was able to build tutorials into. These tutorials will help me teach my students the equipment we use in our class. I also truly enjoyed how creative I could be in this class. It allowed me to be creative for what felt like the first time since my bachelor's program. In the special effects project, I was able to use a green screen to recreate an Alice in Wonderland-like storyline, and I learned a lot trying to do something this creative. I learned that what I often ask my students to do is actually really challenging, having had to do some of it myself. Lastly, the experience of social networking for learners class really helped to push me into a world I had been avoiding, even as a teacher of digital media. I disliked the use of Twitter and had trouble from the get-go editing my characters down to 20. I learned quickly how to get around that problem and learned so many more useful social media platforms for professional development and student engagement. Many of the AECT standards were met in my social networking projects. My social media policies project met Standard 3 of learning environments under the category Using by candidates making professionally sound decisions and selecting appropriate processes and resources to provide optimal conditions for learning based on principles, theories, and effective practices, since it was a clear outline for how to be safe on the internet. In the live professional development projects of the social networking for learners class, I really had to step outside of my world and into the virtual one, meeting other professionals in live web chats and tweet chats. This project met the AECT standard for Standard 4, Professional Knowledge and Skills, Collaborative Practice, which states, candidates collaborate with their peers on subject matter experts to analyze learners, develop and design instruction, and evaluates its impact on learners. These discussions in our tweet chats and web chats did just that. In closing, I hope this video serves as evidence of my profound experiences within the EdTech program at Boise State University. I'd like to thank my professors as well as my classmates from literally around the world for their help throughout the process. And I look forward to continuing to use my newly acquired skills of technology infrastructure, integration, and creation within my classroom experiences and instruction. Thank you so much for watching.